Hello and welcome to Crossfire, the show that dives into the heart of global conflicts, where nations collide, alliances shift, and lives hang in the balance. On tonight's show, we tell you how Ukraine planned the assassination of Russia's top general Igor Kirillov, making it clear that even the most senior Kremlin officials aren't untouchable. Also in the show, we tell you how the civil war in Sudan has left the country's fragile healthcare system in ruins. Stay tuned as we break down these crucial developments and explore their impact on the future of global power and security. Under the cover of darkness, Ukraine delivered a shocking message to the Kremlin. No one is untouchable. Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, Russia's top nuclear and chemical weapons expert, was assassinated in a meticulously planned operation that has left Russia stunned. Our next report takes you inside this daring operation, unraveling the precision, the planning, and the chilling message Ukraine sent to Moscow's power corridors.
A tale of espionage, vengeance, and a chilling message delivered in the dead of night. In the heart of Moscow, amidst the snow-covered streets and quiet apartment blocks, Ukraine's intelligence agency, the SBU, executed one of its most daring assassinations yet. The target, Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, the head of Russia's chemical weapons military unit and a man Ukraine recently labeled a war criminal. The weapon, a bomb concealed in the handlebars of an electric scooter. This isn't just an assassination, it's a statement. A calculated strike that has sent shockwaves through the Kremlin's corridors of power and delivered a dire warning to those orchestrating Russia's war on Ukraine. In the early hours of December 17th, under the cover of darkness, a seemingly innocuous scooter was carefully placed at the entrance of a middle-class apartment block. 2 hours later, Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, unaware of the deadly device, stepped outside his home. What happened next was captured on leaked security camera footage. The video shows Kirillov exiting the building, a normal morning routine turned catastrophic. A sudden flash, a deafening explosion, glass shattering, and car alarms wailing in the cold morning air. The blast left Kirillov lifeless in the snow, a chilling end for a man Ukraine accuses of using chemical weapons against its soldiers. According to experts, the bomb contained just 300 grams of explosives, enough to fit nearly into the handlebars, but devastatingly lethal with a short radius. But the real intrigue lies in the methodical planning behind the strike. Reports from Russian-linked Telegram channels suggest that Ukrainian agents had been monitoring Kirillov for days. Some claim surveillance was conducted from a rented apartment nearby, with binoculars keeping watch over his movements. Others suggest vehicle equipped with a camera broadcast live images of the apartment's entrance to an SBU control center. It was here, the reports say, an operative remotely detonated the bomb with pinpoint accuracy. But the assassination of Kirillov carries an even darker undertone. Just a day before his death, Ukraine called him a war criminal for allegedly approving the use of tear gas and other chemical agents on Ukrainian forces. Ukraine has claimed that over 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers were attacked with toxic gas on the front lines, a claim that Russia has denied. But this brazen attack is more than just an assassination. It's a psychological blow to Russia's leadership. It proves that even the most senior officials aren't unaccountable, even in the heart of their own capital. The question now is, how will Moscow respond to this chilling act of retribution?
Is Turkey on the brink of launching a full-scale invasion into Syria? Signs along the border point to a storm brewing. This comes as Turkish military forces and allied militias mobilize for what US officials describe as imminent cross-border operations. So, is this Turkey's bid to reshape Syria's borders, or a dangerous new chapter in the region's seemingly endless conflict? Our new report decodes this for you.
As the dust settles on Bashar al-Assad's downfall, a new storm is gathering in Syria. Turkey, long opposed to Kurdish autonomy near its borders, has reportedly mobilized troops, command units, and heavy artillery, readying for a large-scale invasion into northeastern Syria. The targets? The Kurdish-controlled regions under the autonomous administration of North and East Syria. For years, Turkey has viewed Kurdish forces in Syria, particularly the Syrian Democratic Forces, as an extension of the PKK, a group Ankara considers a terrorist organization. While the Kurds have been instrumental in defeating ISIS, Turkey sees them as a direct threat to its national security. The timing of this escalation is significant. Following the collapse of a US-brokered ceasefire, Turkey has reportedly informed Kurdish officials that combat operations are resuming. In Kobani and other key Kurdish-held territories, heavy artillery fire and up to 81 daily drone strikes have paralyzed Kurdish counter-terrorism efforts. Adding to the complexity, Turkey has found new allies in its offensive. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, an Islamist group, and militias like the Syrian National Army have joined Turkey in attacks on Kurdish forces. From Manji to Deir ez-Zor, these forces have launched coordinated assaults, capturing Kurdish-held territories and fueling fears of a renewed civil war. But why now? Experts believe Turkey aims to tighten its grip on northeastern Syria before global power dynamics shift with new leadership in Washington. The Kurdish leadership has even reached out to US President-elect Donald Trump, warning of catastrophic consequences if this invasion proceeds unchecked. For the Kurds, this is a fight for survival. For Turkey, it's a bid to reshape Syria's northern borders. So, is this the beginning of yet another chapter in Syria's endless conflict?
In Sudan, the war for power rages on between the army and the paramilitary forces. But the country's already fragile healthcare system is caught in the crossfire. Hospitals have become battlegrounds and medical staff are targeted as they desperately try to provide care amidst bombings and gunfire. With over 90% of medical facilities shut down, Sudan's healthcare system is on the brink of collapse. So can the doctors of Sudan continue their fight? Or is their country's healthcare system doomed to collapse entirely? Our next report tells you more.
In Sudan, a war that has already claimed tens of thousands of lives is now targeting one of the country's most vital lifelines, the healthcare system. As bombing and gunfire echo through the streets of Khartoum, doctors are risking their lives to provide care, with medical facilities turned into battlegrounds. But with hospitals destroyed, health workers targeted, and millions without access to essential care, the crisis in Sudan is spiraling out of control. The toll of Sudan's brutal war is being felt far beyond the battleground. Inside the cramped and overwhelmed wards of Al-Now Hospital in Omdurman, one of the few remaining medical facilities still operational in Greater Khartoum, doctors are facing a harrowing reality. Yet, despite these unimaginable conditions, healthcare workers continue to treat the wounded, driven by a sense of duty. Since April 2023, Sudan has been locked in a violent war for power between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. The conflict has torn the nation apart, killing tens of thousands and displacing more than 12 million people. Millions more now facing hunger and disease. Since the war began, 78 health workers have been killed, either by gunfire or shelling, and the rest are working under constant threat. The healthcare workers report that up to 90% of medical facilities in conflict zones across Sudan have been forced to close, leaving millions without access to life-saving care. But the humanitarian situation in Sudan has reached a breaking point, with mass starvation spreading rapidly across the country. The United Nations estimates that nearly 26 million people, more than half of Sudan's population, are now facing acute hunger. With hospitals overwhelmed, medicines in short supply, and healthcare workers at their breaking point, the country's already strained healthcare system is now facing total collapse. So, how much longer can the healthcare workers save lives in a country where survival itself seems uncertain?
That's all we have for you in this episode of Crossfire. Catch us again tomorrow on India Today Global.